She was halfway through the chorus of her biggest hit when the lights suddenly dimmed and the roar of the crowd turned to a concerned hush. Miranda Lambert, the country music superstar known for her powerhouse vocals and fearless stage presence, had been dazzling a sold-out arena with a string of fan favorites. But tonight was different. Mid-verse, she paused, mid-line, her hand lifting to her throat as if searching for a note that had simply vanished. The band fell silent. A ripple of unease swept through the audience. Miranda looked out at the sea of faces, eyes wide, then slowly sank to one knee, breath hitching in a way no fan had ever seen before. At first, whispers spread like wildfire. Had she lost her voice? Did she stumble? Was it a stunt? Cameras flicked to her face, capturing every micro-expression of pain and confusion. Backstage monitors revealed a flustered stage manager waving frantically, while crew members hovered with water and towels. The arena announcer's voice crackled over the PA, voice strained, "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We're attending to Miranda's health, thank you for your patience." The abrupt break in the set list shattered the celebratory vibe, replacing it with a nod of worry. Phones came out. Social media lit up. Fans snapped photos of her hunched posture, tags like #MirandaOK and #SaveMiranda shooting to the top of trending lists. In the minutes that followed, the stage grew eerily still. The house lights clicked on, illuminating rows of stunned concertgoers. Concession stands paused. Security guards hovered near the edge of the stage, ready to assist. Finally, paramedics in crisp white uniforms hurried on stage, guiding Miranda into a wheelchair. They covered her with a cozy blanket, lifted her off the wooden platform, and rolled her out into the labyrinth of hallways behind the curtains. Thousands watched in real time on the arena's big screens as the camera panned to reveal her pale, determined face framed by damp hair. A hush fell. For the first time in a career defined by fearless defiance, Miranda Lambert had no words to sing. Rumors spread within hours. Some reports hinted at dehydration, others speculated on a sudden allergic reaction or an undiagnosed heart issue. Overnight, every entertainment site ran headlines like "Miranda Lambert's scary collapse" and "What happened to the country queen?" Tabloids suggested she might be re-evaluating her illustrious career, while die-hard fans organized prayer threads and digital candle-lighting ceremonies. But amid the frenzy, her publicist released a short statement: "Miranda experienced severe vocal distress last night and is under medical care. She thanks everyone for their love and asks for privacy while she recovers." The ambiguity left room for both concern and hope, fueling an online storm of speculation and support. By midday, Miranda had been admitted to a specialized clinic in Nashville. Insiders revealed she'd been battling persistent throat irritation for months, notes slipping away in late rehearsals, unexplained cracking during sound checks, minor pain she'd brushed off as overwork. Friends close to her described a relentless tour schedule that left little time for rest. Day after videos showed her backstage at the previous gig, her hand cradling her neck, brows furrowed as she whispered to a bandmate. But she'd shrugged it off, determined not to disappoint the legions of fans who filled stadiums each night. In her world, pause didn't exist. Now, it had been thrust upon her. Context matters in a saga like this. Miranda Lambert built her empire on raw honesty and relentless tenacity. From selling out shrines to honky-tonk bars to headlining international stages, she had never allowed health concerns to derail her grit. She'd once played a festival while battling bronchitis, electrifying the crowd while her voice cracked and waxed. She'd recorded a chart-topping album while running on 3 hours of sleep. Yet somewhere along the way, the unrelenting momentum had exacted its toll. The very strength that had carried her through every obstacle had, ironically, carried her into this medical uncertainty. Fans rallied. On Instagram, concertgoers stitched together heart-shaped mosaics of her smiling photos, overlaying them with hopeful messages: "We love you, Miranda, hope you're back on your feet soon, the stage misses you." Country radio stations added her songs to Get Well Soon playlists, while celebrities sent public Get Well notes. ASL interpreters delivered signed messages of love during daytime TV segments. Even Miranda's fiercest anthem, "Mama's Broken Heart," transformed in tone. Viewers heard a vulnerability in her lyrics they'd never noticed before. The outpouring reinforced that the bond between artist and audience runs deeper than sold-out shows. It's a shared heartbeat of trust. Late in the evening, her medical team provided an update: a preliminary diagnosis of a vocal cord hemorrhage, a condition where tiny blood vessels in the throat rupture during intense strain. It's a hazard for singers whose craft depends on finely tuned vocal folds. The doctor explained that continuing to perform without rest could cause permanent damage, scarring, nodules, or even a career-ending injury. Miranda's team emphasized the gravity. She needed immediate vocal rest, possibly surgery, and months of rehabilitation. Fans reeled. A country superstar sidelined by her most essential instrument, her own voice, felt like a cruel paradox. Contrast frames often reveal deeper truths. Just a week earlier, spectators had witnessed Miranda pour every ounce of her soul into belting high notes that sent shivers down spines. Her voice had soared across the arena like a flag of defiance, rallying thousands to sing along. Now, the same instrument lay fragile, a reminder that even the boldest warrior has vulnerabilities. The scene underscored a universal reality: behind every triumphant roar lies a heart that sometimes needs to pause, to heal, to reset. Tonight's abrupt ending carried a lesson that transcended country music. It spoke to anyone who was pushed too hard, refused to slow down, or denied the body's signals. Miranda Lambert's willingness to stop mid-song, to accept urgent care, reflected the very courage that defined her artistry. It wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a profound admission that no stage, no audience, matters more than one's own well-being. As whispers of her recovery plan circulated, fans clung to the hope that the woman who wrote anthems of resilience would soon stage another triumphant comeback. In a few hours, her team would announce tour postponements, a revised schedule, and pledges to return stronger than ever. But tonight, the story belonged to that moment of silence: an arena hushed, lights dimmed, and a superstar admitting she needed to rest. It was a reminder that even the brightest star sometimes must pause before shining again. The morning after Miranda's collapse, the arena in Nashville felt strangely empty as crews dismantled stages and packed amplifiers into trucks. Yet something lingered in the air, a collective breath held between heartbeats. Word spread that Miranda's management team had confirmed her diagnosis: a vocal cord hemorrhage so severe that she needed immediate treatment and absolute rest. Doctors warned that forcing a return within weeks could lead to permanent vocal fold scarring, potentially ending her career. Miranda's world had revolved around her voice, a finely tuned instrument shaped by years of relentless touring. Now, that precious gift demanded silence. Inside her luxury tour bus, parked outside the Nashville clinic, Miranda lay propped on satin cushions, her phone silent except for the occasional chirp of supportive texts. She stared at the ceiling, recalling the moment her coach first introduced her to vocal exercises, warm-ups that felt awkward at the time but became spiritual rituals. She paused at memories of early gigs at small honky-tonks where no sound engineer monitored her levels. She strained her vocal cords to be heard over rowdy patrons. Back then, she'd laugh off sore throats as badges of honor. But age and accumulated strain meant those badges now carried risk. Miranda's friends and family rallied around her. Her longtime guitarist, Owen, brought a playlist of soothing instrumentals and sat by her side in the clinic room, offering quiet companionship. Her sister, Samantha, arrived with homemade chicken soup, reminding Miranda of afternoons spent cooking together before school talent shows. Through the window, they watched a gray sky pour rain as though the heavens shared their solemn mood. For the first time in ages, Miranda felt the full weight of her choices: to push past pain, to vault over warnings, to embrace a no-quit ethos. Now, letting go was the bravest act she'd faced. Meanwhile, social media remained a whirlwind. Video clips of Miranda's collapse trended alongside hashtags like #StayStrongMiranda and #VocalHealthMatters. Fellow artists sent heartfelt messages. Dolly Parton shared a photo of herself backstage paying tribute. Luke Combs recorded a video urging fans to donate to vocal health charities. Country radio networks dedicated entire hours to wellness discussions with speech pathologists. Even non-country stars weighed in. Beyoncé's team tweeted advice on vocal rest and hydration, underscoring that singers across genres share fragile instruments. By midday, a live-streamed press conference was scheduled. Miranda appeared via video in a simple white t-shirt, her hair tied back, face clear and resolute. Reporters filled virtual seats as she addressed the world with steady grace. "I'm learning the hard way that sometimes slowing down is the only way forward," she said. Her voice cracked only once, a raw reminder of the journey ahead. She outlined her recovery plan: 6 weeks of absolute vocal rest, daily speech therapy sessions, gradual reintroduction of singing under medical supervision, and potential microsurgery if necessary. Then she smiled softly, sending love to fans. "Your support means more than I can express. she concluded. In the hours that followed, industry insiders speculated about the impact on Miranda's headlining tour. Would she reschedule dozens of dates? Could other artists fill stadium nights once reserved for her anthems? Promoters scrambled to negotiate refunds or new bookings, fans held onto tickets with uncertain faith. Yet many voiced understanding, better a full recovery than a rushed return that risked irreparable harm. One devoted fan posted, "I'll wait 1,000 shows for Miranda's voice to come back stronger than ever." Backstage at a local radio station, Miranda's music video for Bluebird played on a loop as hosts discussed the medical nuances of vocal hemorrhages. They dissected how rapid vocal fold closure during powerful belts can rupture capillaries, creating a blood pocket that bleeds into surrounding tissue. When unchecked, the bleeding can cause calluses or cysts, requiring surgical removal. The conversation, while technical, became a public service announcement. Fans learned the importance of proper warm-ups, hydration, and rest, knowledge once confined to professionals. That afternoon, Miranda's manager organized a surprise, a live-streamed acoustic performance featuring her bandmates, playing Tin Man and Little Red Wagon as a healing tribute. Although Miranda watched silently, tears welled in her eyes as she mouthed the lyrics. For viewers, it was a poignant reminder of her impact, a singer's presence so powerful that even her absence felt like a performance. The event raised funds for the Throat Health Foundation, pledging proceeds to artists facing similar injuries. The solidarity reinforced a crucial truth: no star stands alone when it comes to health. As evening fell, Miranda allowed herself a brief walk around the clinic's garden. The scent of lavender from nearby planters mingled with cool autumn air. She cradled a cup of decaf tea, stepping slowly along winding paths. Every puff of breath felt precious, every footstep a choice. She reflected on lyrics she'd written about resilience and rebirth, realizing those words now applied to her own life. The artist who once taught others to chase broken hearts had to remember how to mend her own. In the quiet of that garden, a decision settled within her. When she returned, she wouldn't rush back on stage without a plan for sustainable health. She'd advocate for vocal wellness, pushing for industry standards that protect performers. Her paused tour would restart not as a frantic sprint but as a measured marathon, balancing passion with preservation. And when she finally raised the mic again, it would be with a voice reborn from wisdom, not weariness. Returning to Nashville in late November, Miranda settled into a renovated rehearsal space designed for her recovery. Gone were the stadium-sized amplifiers and glaring stage lights. In their place stood padded floors, soft ambient lamps, and a Steinway grand piano. Here, she would rebuild her connection with music from the ground up. Each morning began with careful vocal warm-ups led by Dr. Elena Ramirez, the world-renowned speech pathologist who guided Miranda through every step. Their sessions combined gentle humming scales, precise breath control, and resonance exercises that placed no strain on her healing cords. Between exercises, Miranda journaled her sensations, moments of exquisite clarity, fleeting tremors, and surprising bursts of natural power. She recorded these notes in a leather-bound book, capturing not only technical progress but her evolving mindset, the shift from perform at all costs to honor my voice. By December, her team had crafted a holistic wellness program. Nutritionist Lena Clark curated anti-inflammatory menus rich in leafy greens, turmeric-infused teas, and slow-cooked broths. A certified yoga instructor, Malik Thompson, led midday sessions focusing on posture, diaphragmatic breathing, and gentle stretches to release tension in Miranda's neck and shoulders. Physical therapist Dr. Raj Patel incorporated craniosacral therapy to ease residual swelling around her larynx. Each discipline reinforced the others, creating a web of support that protected her instruments, both vocal and emotional. Miranda embraced every facet, marveling that a singer's career could be as much about mindset and self-care as raw talent. She found solace in the synergy. The same care she had lavished on songcraft now nurtured her well-being. With the healing process well underway, Miranda devised ways to stay engaged with fans. Instead of traditional meet and greets, she hosted weekly live streams called silent sessions. From her private studio, she answered questions about recovery, demonstrated gentle vocal techniques viewers could practice, and shared behind-the-scenes glimpses of her daily routines. Fans sent messages of solidarity, homemade remedies, inspirational quotes, and artwork celebrating Miranda's resilience. Each stream fostered a community bound by compassion rather than performance. By opening up her vulnerability, she turned silence into song, inviting listeners to find their own voices of strength. Viewership soared into the tens of thousands, proving that her presence mattered even when she wasn't singing. In mid-January, she surprised fans with an intimate Whispered Hymns pop-up concert. Held in a cozier Nashville church known for its acoustics, the event featured Miranda seated at a grand piano, singing select verses of her most tender ballads at half volume. Armed with just a microphone and soft amber lighting, she delivered emotionally potent performances that left the audience spellbound. No pyrotechnics, no band, only the raw essence of her reclaimed voice. Each note carried extra weight, every lyric felt like a victory. Listeners recorded the moment on smartphones but also put them down, choosing to simply listen. Reviews highlighted the profound contrast. The same songs that once ignited stadium sing-alongs now resonated as intimate confessions, underscoring how absence made hearts grow fonder. Bolstered by the success, Miranda and her producers retooled the Heartland Revival Tour. They reimagined each date as a smaller venue experience limited to 2,000 fans per show, ensuring an atmosphere of closeness. Sets were trimmed to 90 minutes, punctuated by regular intermissions during which she practiced subtle vocal resets offstage. Hydration stations offered herbal infusions, and each ticket included a commemorative booklet detailing Miranda's recovery journey. Her bandmates adjusted their arrangements to feature acoustic interludes, turning instrumental breaks into restful pauses for her voice. This new model sacrificed ticket volume for sustainable pacing, but box office receipts remained strong proof that thoughtful design and genuine care could thrive commercially. As spring arrived, Miranda launched Voices United, a nonprofit advocating vocal health for performers. Partnering with leading medical institutions, the foundation offered free workshops, digital toolkits, and grant funding for artists needing specialized care. She spearheaded a social media campaign encouraging fellow singers to share self-care rituals using the hashtag #VocalVanguard. The initiative resonated across genres. Pop stars joined in, Broadway performers posted warm-up videos, and music schools integrated Miranda's modules into curricula. By transforming personal hardship into collective empowerment, she reshaped the narrative. Vocal injuries became topics of honest conversation rather than hushed taboos. Finally, after 6 months of rehabilitation, Miranda prepared for her triumphant return. The announcement came on a sunny April morning, a special one-night-only live broadcast from Nashville's historic Ryman Auditorium. Tickets were free but required registration, ensuring every fan could access the stream. Backstage, soft light bathed her in calm. She stepped onto the stage wearing comfortable suede boots and a simple white blouse, the uniform of an artist reborn. As the camera rolled, she breathed deeply, grounding herself in gratitude for every lesson learned. Then she began to sing, first a whisper, then a measured crescendo that soared without strain. The audience roared, not simply for the music, but for the journey that brought her back. The night of the live broadcast arrived like a quiet triumph. Thousands of registered viewers tuned in from living rooms, theaters, and mobile devices around the globe. As cameras swept the historic boards of the Ryman Auditorium, the varnish on the pews and the glow of stage lights revealed a sacred atmosphere. Miranda Lambert, clad in a simple slate blue blouse and dark denim, approached the vintage microphone with a composed breath. Behind her, the model of the church pulpit remained empty, no backup singers, no band, only the support of audio engineers ensuring every nuance reached the audience. When she began her first song, "The House That Built Me," her voice carried a refined softness that spoke of careful rest, of tissues healed and chords strengthened. In that moment, the celebrated country star became something more, an artist in communion with her craft. Each song that followed felt deliberate. Midway through Tin Man, she paused to share a quiet reflection on lobster tears, a nod to her new perspective on vulnerability. She spoke candidly about the isolation of 6 weeks of silence, admitting that moments of doubt had crept in. Yet she used each lyric as a milestone, celebrating the healing journey rather than lamenting the past. Technical close-ups revealed moisture in her eyes as she negotiated gravity in a long-held note of ice. Every inhalation consonanted with breath control practice, and every exhalation demonstrated the payoff of medical guidance. It was a masterclass in technique and emotion, an intimate tutorial on how silence shapes sound. Industry insiders watched in awe. Music critics logged onto the live stream with pens poised. Tweets flooded with admiration for the courage embedded in each line. Rolling Stone published a glowing editorial by midnight, praising the broadcast as a defining moment in live music, where patience met performance. Trade publications predicted that the acoustic nature of the show would inspire a wave of similar smaller-scale, wellness-friendly concerts. Within hours, audio engineers reached out to Miranda's team seeking technical specs and artist setups. This one-night event had the seed of an entire new movement, mindful touring. Meanwhile, Miranda's label announced immediate plans for a live album derived from the broadcast. Titled Quiet Return, the project would include detailed liner notes on her vocal recovery, contributions from Dr. Elena Ramirez, and behind-the-scenes photos of padded studio walls. Pre-orders surged as fans sought a tangible memento of her resurgence. Simultaneously, streaming playlists curated by country and folk channels added the broadcast tracks to top editorial rotations. The House That Built Me soared back onto download charts, reaffirming that authenticity resonated commercially. The rebound confirmed chart wisdom: vulnerability sells, but only when it springs from genuine experience. On the philanthropic front, proceeds from the live album and subsequent tour benefited Miranda's Voices United Foundation. During the broadcast, a brief interlude projection invited viewers to donate, with donation matching by her label. By morning, the fund had exceeded its initial goal, unlocking grants for scholarships and equipment donations to underserved music programs. Grant recipients included students in rural Alaska, inner-city Philadelphia, and remote Australian outback communities. Testimonials poured in, thanking Miranda for bringing attention to underserved regions. Teachers described renewed interest in vocal health among students, crediting her campaign for destigmatizing speech therapy. In the weeks that followed, Miranda resumed a carefully structured schedule that balanced recording sessions, small fan events, and foundation workshops. In the studio, she laid down demos for her next album, tentatively titled Rise Again. Songs like New Roots and Silver Voice captured her transformation, not simply a recovery narrative but an evolution of artistry. She collaborated with songwriters to integrate vocal wellness themes into lyrics, ensuring the next chapter of her discography would echo the lessons of 2025. Industry colleagues noted her renewed songwriting vigor, equating it with creative reinvention. Her producers described the process as a metastory, crafting songs about healing while experiencing it firsthand. Miranda's journey from collapse to comeback reshaped expectations for touring artists. Concert promoters adjusted contract language to include mandatory health breaks, while managers began building vocal health clauses into riders. Medical professionals reported increased inquiries from touring musicians seeking preventive care. Music schools contacted Dr. Ramirez requesting joint clinics at universities. Even marketing teams pivoted to foreground artist well-being as a promotional asset. In an industry that once applauded nonstop ambition, Miranda's path illustrated a new paradigm, sustainable artistry. As she reflected on her journey, Miranda recognized that music had always been both her sanctuary and her strength. Through every challenge, her artistry proved resilient, a testament to the power of perseverance. Now, she looked forward to new horizons, confident that her voice would continue to inspire countless hearts. Months after the Quiet Return broadcast, Miranda Lambert embarked on the Heartland Revival Tour's next leg, this time in larger theaters and mid-size arenas, but under the same sustainable model that had proved so successful. Each night began with a 5-minute vocal warm-up demonstration projected on the big screen so fans could participate in real time. Intermissions were scheduled after every 3 songs, with custom hydration stations set up backstage and in VIP lounges, offering herbal teas and electrolyte blends. Tour buses had built-in humidifiers to protect hotel room air, and a licensed speech pathologist traveled with the crew. The stage lighting cues included subtle reminders for Miranda to pause between verses, and every set list was designed to balance up-tempo anthems with acoustic lullabies. Box office numbers held steady even as seating capacity per show decreased, demonstrating that fans prioritized her well-being over maximum volume. In the spring, Miranda released her new studio album, Rise Again, recorded in the hammock-lined Nashville cabin where she'd recuperated. From the opening track New Roots to the closing ballad Silver Voice, the album wove themes of renewal, introspection, and gratitude. Collaborators included veteran songwriters like Brandy Clark, whose Coritin chorus on Healing Hands featured an unexpected gospel bridge and homage to the choir that supported Miranda during her recovery. Producers integrated field recordings from the tour's acoustic pop-ups, soft crowd hum and distant applause, to remind listeners that these songs were born in shared spaces. Skyrocketing to the top of country charts, Rise Again earned praise for its lyrical honesty and refined vocal performances. Critics hailed it as a triumph of art over adversity and the album that redefined Miranda Lambert's legacy. Meanwhile, industry conversations turned toward formalizing the vocal health protocols she pioneered. Her manager introduced a standard rider clause, the Miranda Lambert Vocal Care Addendum, recommended by leading agents and attorneys. It stipulated limits on rehearsal hours, mandatory rest days, and on-site access to specialized speech therapists for headliners and opening acts alike. Radio programmers hosted roundtables on vocal fatigue, while music industry lawyers pitched similar clauses to their clients. Trade magazines ran features on sustainable touring models, citing Miranda's approach as a case study. Even pop and rock acts expressed interest, inviting Dr. Ramirez to speak at their artist retreats. The concept of wellness-first touring began to trend, assuring artists that longevity and vocal health need not sacrifice passion or performance quality. On the philanthropic front, Voices United evolved into a global initiative. The foundation launched its first international grant program, awarding scholarships for voice therapy courses to students in Uganda, India, and Brazil. Part of the funding came from a partnership with a major microphone manufacturer, committing a percentage of sales from signature Miranda Lambert models to the cause. Voices United webinars drew thousands of attendees, from aspiring singers to professional broadcasters, all seeking guidance on technique and self-care. Workshops paired medical experts with veteran performers, creating dialogue across disciplines. Social media ambassadors shared success stories of young artists who avoided career-ending injuries thanks to early intervention. Miranda's once personal mission had blossomed into a worldwide movement, transforming individual hardship into a collective resource for creative communities. Through it all, Miranda found balance between public life and private restoration. She invited family and close friends to intimate album release gatherings, where she played unreleased acoustic demos around a crackling fire pit. She and her sister Samantha recorded a bonus track for Rise Again, a tender duet celebrating sisterhood and support. Her husband, Brendan, became a vocal advocate at charity events, speaking alongside her about the importance of mental health in parallel with vocal health. Late-night songwriting sessions took place not in neon studios but at home on a porch swing, where family dogs patted at their feet and crickets provided a natural metronome. These moments replenished her spirit and informed her artistry, reminding her that music's power lies not in grandiosity but in genuine connection. As summer approached, Miranda closed the Heartland Revival Tour with a 4-night residency at Nashville's Ryman Auditorium, upgraded this time to 4-piece backing band and enhanced acoustics but still bound by her rest-first schedule. Each night, she dedicated a song to theater staff and medical personnel in attendance, spotlighting those who support performers behind the scenes. When the final show ended, she offered a heartfelt speech. "Thank you for walking this path with me, for learning that sometimes the bravest thing an artist can do is listen to her body and rest. My voice is more than a gift, it's a responsibility, and I promise to honor it and to help you honor yours." A standing ovation followed, echoing a lesson in resilience that transcended any single performance. On the last evening of the Heartland Revival Tour's Nashville residency, the lights dimmed to a soft amber glow as Miranda Lambert walked onto the stage wearing a simple linen dress. The audience rose to its feet, not merely to greet a performer, but to celebrate a journey of healing that had transformed every note she sang. Her voice, once fragile, now carried a confident warmth that spoke of patience, care, and newfound wisdom. She opened with new roots, letting each line settle into the silent audience like a shared secret passed between friends. At the halfway mark, she paused and spoke directly. "This tour began as an experiment in sustainability, a test of how we value our voices and our health. I've learned that art blossoms when we nurture ourselves as much as our craft." A wave of applause rippled across the theater, carrying genuine emotion rather than spectacle. As the set continued, vintage guitars and modern synthesizers danced together under careful light design that avoided harsh strobes. During Golden Hour, she invited members of her road crew on stage for a quiet breakdown, laying bare the community behind every show. They joined in harmony with tambourines and hand drums, a living reminder that music depends on many hands and hearts. "Tonight," she said, "we honor the invisible champions, sound engineers, lighting techs, medical staff, whose work often goes unsung." When the final chord of Silver Voice resonated, the audience lit the auditorium with phone flashlights in lieu of lighters, shimmering like a galaxy of gratitude. Miranda closed her eyes and let the moment breathe before delivering her final song, a poignant acoustic version of "If I Die Young," reimagined as a celebration of life's fragility and strength. The performance felt less like entertainment and more like a testament to human resilience. After the encore, she shared the stage with Dr. Elena Ramirez and announced a perpetual scholarship for vocal health at Vanderbilt University's Music College. "Let this be my legacy," she declared, ensuring that every artist has the tools to protect their greatest gift. Fans cheered as the foundation's board members distributed the first checks to aspiring performers in the front row, a symbolic gesture of hope. Critics praised the tour's grand finale as a cultural milestone. Music industry journals featured covers with headlines like "Protecting the Voice, Miranda's Revolution," and "Wellness on Tour, the Model for the Future." Television specials aired retrospectives on her transformation, contrasting footage of her collapse with triumphs from the Ryman broadcast and Heartland revival shows. Even veteran touring acts began requesting her team's writer clauses for their own contracts, marking a profound shift in industry norms. As the lights went down for the final time, Miranda stepped to the mic one last time. "Breath held," she said, "thank you for walking every step with me. This isn't an ending, it's the start of a new chapter for all of us who make music. May we always listen to our bodies and honor our voices." With that, she kissed the mic, bowed deeply, and walked into darkness to the sound of roaring applause that seemed as enduring as her message. In the weeks that followed, Miranda's influence extended beyond music. Wellness retreats for performers adopted her tour model, speech pathology programs gained funding, and even corporate wellness teams invited her to keynote conferences on sustainable performance. She found herself mentoring young artists, offering wisdom on balancing ambition with self-care. Through podcasts, she recounted her journey from the wake of tragedy to the triumph of recovery, underscoring that adversity can be a crucible for growth. Today, as Miranda previews her Rise Again 2 tour and begins production on a documentary series about vocal health, she carries forward a vow to treat her voice as the sacred instrument it is, with respect, compassion, and gratitude. Each rehearsal room, each stage, and each note now serves as a testament to that commitment. In the realm of country music and beyond, her story reminds everyone that strength isn't only about power, but also about the courage to pause, heal, and return wiser than before. Her resilience inspires performers around the world every day.